The end of February saw the resignation of Pope Benedict XVI, the first pope to resign in nearly 600 years and only the second to do so on his own initiative since Pope Celestine V in 1294. The move was unexpected, as modern-era popes have always continued until their death. He said he was resigning due to ill health and old age. The conclave to select his successor began on the 12th of March 2013 and elected Cardinal George Mario Bergoglio in a surprise choice to be the new leader. He took the name Francis, becoming the first non-European pontiff in nearly 1,300 years. The 76-year-old Pope Francis soon impressed the world with his simple style and straight talk, that by the end of the year Time magazine had voted him Person of the Year 2013. The Boston Marathon was struck by 2 pressure cooker bombs near the finishing line, killing 3 people and injuring 264. The bombs exploded about 13 seconds and 210 yards apart. In quick time, the FBI released photos of 2 suspects identified as brothers, Joker and Tamerlan Saranev, of Chechen origin. The suspects were then chased down in a search and exchange of gunfire with the police in Watertown, Massachusetts. During the firefight, Tamerlan Saranev was killed and run over by his brother 17-year-old Joker, who was injured but escaped. He has pleaded not guilty to 30 charges, which carry a punishment of either life imprisonment or death. The trial continues as his lawyers have asked for more time to prepare his defense. In April, an 8-story commercial building collapsed in Savar in Dhaka, killing 1,129 people. Over 2,500 were injured but rescued from the building alive, some surviving nearly 2 weeks in the rubble. In July, Egyptian Army Chief General Abdul Fattah al-Sisi removed the then-incumbent President Mohamed Morsi from power and suspended the Egyptian constitution. The move came after ongoing public protests in Egypt for and against Morsi and a warning from the army to respond to the demands of millions of protesters. Al-Sisi declared Chief Justice of the Supreme Constitutional Court of Egypt Adli Mansour as the interim President of Egypt. Morsi was put under house arrest and several Muslim Brotherhood leaders arrested. In August, Ghouta suburbs in Syria were hit by rockets containing the chemical agent sarin. The attack during the Syrian civil war hit several opposition-controlled areas of the Ghouta suburbs. Hundreds were killed in the attack, which took place in the early morning. Estimates of the death toll range from 281 to 1,729 fatalities. Many witnesses reported that none of the victims they saw displayed physical wounds. The incident is the deadliest use of chemical weapons since the Iran-Iraq War. September also saw unidentified gunmen attack an upmarket Westgate shopping mall in Nairobi, Kenya. The attack, which lasted 3 days, resulted in 72 deaths, including 61 civilians, 6 Kenyan soldiers and 4 attackers. The attackers held hostages and later engaged in gun battles with Kenyan security forces. Over 200 people were reportedly wounded in the mass shooting. Al-Shabaab claimed responsibility for the incident as retribution for Kenyan military deployment in Somalia. From October 1 through 16, 2013, the United States federal government entered a shutdown and curtailed most routine operations after Congress failed to enact legislation appropriating funds for fiscal year 2014. Regular government operations resumed October 17 after an interim appropriations bill was signed into law. During the shutdown, approximately 800,000 federal employees were sent on leave, and another 1.3 million were required to report to work without payment dates. The October 2013 shutdown was the 3rd longest government shutdown in U.S. history. Iran struck a historic agreement with the U.S. and 5 other world powers accepting strict constraints on its nuclear program for the first time in a decade in exchange for partial relief from sanctions. The deal is considered the most significant foreign policy achievement of Barack Obama's presidency. The move is intended as the first step in a 6-month process aimed at permanent resolution to the global impasse of Iran's nuclear program. Nelson Mandela, who guided South Africa from the shackles of apartheid to a multiracial democracy, died on the 5th of December at the age of 95. The whole world mourned his death. He was an icon of peace and reconciliation who came to embody the struggle for justice around the world. He was imprisoned for nearly 3 decades for his fight against white minority rule. While the ANC emerged victorious in the first multi-party election, he said the moment to bridge the chasms that divide us had come. He became South Africa's first black president in 1994. Every single nation in the world held this icon of freedom in the highest esteem. He was the recipient of over 250 awards, including the Nobel Peace Prize in 1993, the US Presidential Medal of Freedom, and the Soviet Order of Lenin. Soon after his release, India was the first country to bestow on him our highest civilian honor, the Bharat Ratna, in 1990. He was the first non-Indian to receive this honor. He was also earlier bestowed with the Nehru Award for International Understanding in 1979 and the Indira Gandhi Award for International Justice and Harmony in 1996. South Africa greatly mourned this great leader, who was laid to rest on the 15th of December. Former British Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher died in April at the age of 87. She was UK's Prime Minister from 1979 to 1990 and the leader of the Conservative Party from 1975 to 1990. She was the longest-serving British Prime Minister of the 20th century and is the only woman to have held the office. She was nicknamed Iron Lady for her uncompromising politics and leadership style. As Prime Minister, she implemented policies that have come to be known as Thatcherism. Her policy was low inflation, small state, free markets and tight control of money supply, privatization and the labor market. The world's newest country, South Sudan, went into turmoil after President Salva Kiir accused his ex-deputy Riek Machar of mounting a coup against him in mid-December. The unrest killed more than 500 people in less than 5 days. Kiir insists the clashes are over power and politics. The conflict first erupted in the capital Juba, but spread later. 3 Indian peacekeepers were also killed in the violence when attackers had stormed a United Nations base in Akobo.